Hello. Hello, beautiful human. I hope you're so well and that you're having the most amazing day. I'm just going to wait to see if a few people come on and join me live today. I'll wait and see if I get a few of you on and then we'll kick off. If you are joining me live and you can see me, hear me, please do let me know. Hey, Kat. Hey, Taryn. Hey, Jacinta. Yeah, let me know that you can hear me okay. And then I will kick off in a moment. Got a shiny forehead because I've got I'll post it on Instagram actually. I've got a light set up this afternoon. I'm gonna batch a bunch of filming this afternoon. So I've got the light all set up to do that. So hello, hey Carla. So great to have you all here. A big hi to everyone that's jumping on. I'm so thrilled to have you live with me. You know I love it when I have you live because it makes it more fun for me and for you and for all of us. Okay, so it's so great to have you here on this Wednesday, wherever you're coming in from in the world. Today we are talking about the number one thing that is missing from your success plan. And I know that I was quite vague when I shared that because I haven't told you what it is. Thank you, Ashley, beautiful woman. Hey, Luce, so good to have you here. Lucianne, I've just shortened your name to Luce just then. I have a tendency to do that. So tell me if that is not okay. Hey, Shell, so great to have you here. All right, I'm going to dive in. Big hi to everyone that's coming on. Like I said, today we are going to talk about the number one thing that is missing from your success plan. So right now we are the first business week into 2020, right? And there's a real kind of planning energy that happens around this time of year. And what tends to happen, and what I'm absolutely witnessing as I'm having conversations with my clients and my masterminders, is that a lot of questions come up about the year ahead, which is amazing because I think it gives us this really great opportunity to put strategy first if it's not something that we have a natural tendency to do, because not all of us do, and that is okay. I think it's definitely a skill and it's something that develops over time. So if you're not naturally thinking from the perspective of how can I be really strategic, and when I say strategic, I mean really smart about looking at what's happening for the year ahead, then by planning, we have the opportunity to do so at the start of the year. And so we start asking ourselves questions about what the year ahead looks like. And just to speak very quickly as well about the current state of the world right now, we look at the year ahead, but what I'm also observing is that, of course, with the tragedies that are happening in Australia, amongst others worldwide, we're really feeling some big feels as a collective. I know I certainly am. And what I'm witnessing around me with peers and clients and friends is that there's this big collective energy where we're all really feeling it right now. And because of that, if we throw all of that together, where we've got the start of the year and a lot of questions and some really big feels and challenges around how to even be in our businesses right now, it's very easy, and potentially you may be feeling confused, like you're lacking clarity, or you're unsure about the year ahead. Because I don't know about you, but I'm feeling unsure about the year ahead in terms of not even just for my business, but for the world and future generations. And that's a whole other conversation, right? So what tends to happen, and this is very much a mindset thing, is that we then start to experience all sorts of questions, and our brain tends to go to the questions that have been preempted by what we see online. Our subconscious mind tends to draw on those things that are lower hanging fruit because they're questions that are potentially easier for us to solve. What are you talking about, Ellie? I am talking about the types of questions that come up related to your business, like I said, that are potentially easier to solve, that you're also probably seeing a lot in your periphery at the moment in terms of what you're being served online or what you're even seeing offline. Questions like, Should I create a Facebook group? Do I need Pinterest? How do I DM more people? How many times should I be showing up online? Those sorts of questions. Questions that are, if I was to use marketing language for a moment, really tactical in nature. And if you look at things as a marketer, they're actually questions that you would ask lower down the line. So we tend to ask those questions when really they're not actually the questions that we should be asking. What the number one question that we should be asking, insert cliffhanger here, that I see missing from most people's success plans is, how do I get clients? So I've had that question asked to me many times. I know it is the thing that is the number one question, that it's the thing we really want answered. But for whatever reason, and once again, I believe it very much to be mindset related, we come back to the questions that feel easier to answer, right? They're questions that feel easier to answer because it's much harder to answer that question for us of, how do I get clients? We go, should I get a Facebook group? Should I, we go to those really tactical, tangible questions that we feel will be much easier for us to solve first. So how do I get clients? Where are my clients at? How do I make money? How do I build my business? What does that look like for me in 2020? Because without clients, we don't actually have a business. And just to side rant a little bit for a moment, I know many incredible humans who have amazing Facebook groups and amazing Instagram platforms and all these amazing things, who actually do not have perhaps the client load or the type of income being generated that you might think they do. So social media stats, or those Facebook groups, or those questions that you may be asking yourself, they are not directly related to the success of your business. So you can see how you're really, it's really easy to create this kind of chain of events in our business because we start by asking ourselves the wrong questions, and therefore we end up getting the answers that don't actually correlate to the success that we are wanting in our business, which is to build our business, make more money, win more clients. But because we're asking, how do I grow my Facebook group? How do I do X, Y, and Z? We're not actually generating the success that we want because we're focusing on the lower hanging fruit. Whereas that should come from those questions of, how do I get clients? So for example, how do I get clients might then, from there, that the knock-on effect of that question might then be, okay, so I know that how do I get clients? That client for me is someone who is X, Y, and Z. They go to yoga, they do this, they show up like this online. How am I talking to that person right now? Okay, I might be doing X, Y, and Z, but am I really meeting them where they're at? No, potentially I'm not. So then we start to talk about where we should be showing up online based on that client. So you can see how you will get to those questions, but you're going to get to those questions in a way that makes a lot more sense than if you were to lead with those questions. Does that make sense? I hope so. I'm going to take you through a goal setting process to do this in a really beautiful way in just a moment. So let me know if that lands for you, if that makes sense for you. I really, really hope that it does. So when we ask ourselves the bigger picture questions, because essentially what I'm saying is to ask yourself that bigger picture question. And the irony here is that so many people don't do this. And another mindset thing I see, it's a form of self-sabotage, is that we don't actually want to ask the question because we're afraid of the question sometimes. So how do I win clients? It feels like a big, scary question. So if we instead ask, should I create a Facebook group? It feels like something we have more control over. So, but then the challenge is we've got to stick to that thing, not knowing whether it's actually going to work for us or not, because we haven't got to that place from a place of strategy, but rather it's been more on a whim, or it might have been the result of shiny object syndrome because we saw somebody that we admire who has that group, and we therefore think that it's right for our business. So hopefully you can then see how that changes when you start with that bigger picture questioning, because it takes you to the answers that are going to be most relevant for you and for your business and therefore for your business success. So as a challenge, what I really would love to encourage you to do is to create some big picture goals for your business this year. So when we're talking about these big picture goals, this might look like the number of clients that you want. This might look like the amount of money that you want to generate in revenue this year. This might look like how you want to feel as you do so. So I'm going to give you an example of a goal script that you can use with this model in mind. So an example of a goal script, and I'd grab a pen and paper at this point and write this down so that you can utilize this, is win 10 clients in Q1 of 2020 and feel joyful, abundant, and expansive. So I'm going to say that again as an example script. Win 10 clients in Q1 of 2020 and feel joyful, abundant, and expansive. So if you were to write something along a similar theme to that, you might amend the number of clients that you know is right for you based on how much capacity you have and how much revenue you want to generate in your business. You might change the time frame depending on where you're at in your business, and this is obviously really different for everybody. And you would change those words based on how you want to feel in 2020. So it might be that one of your words for the year is part of that. It might be that your values are part of that, or whatever else. So really focusing in on what are the specific feeling words that I want to cultivate in 2020. So does that all make sense so far? So just to recap on that, when you are planning for the year, the most important thing to do, instead of cultivating shiny object syndrome or starting with the low-hanging fruit, we want to zoom out and really look at that big picture of how can I create those big picture goals by asking myself the question of how do I win clients? Because that is my overarching aim, rather than looking at it from the perspective of, do I need to grow a new Facebook group, or do I need to get Pinterest, or whatever it might be? Because if you follow from that big picture question, you will naturally move further down to then end up asking yourself those questions at some point. But usually the answers will actually preface the question. Because you've already asked yourself those bigger picture questions, you're probably usually going to find that the answers actually come. You don't even need to ask those questions because the answers already arise. So knowing then that your number one priority is how to win clients, I want to invite you to the free challenge that I have with my girl, Rach McDonald, next week, which, knowing so many of you in this community who have been here for a while, and the incredible humans that have been coming into this group, because I ask you questions so I can see where you're at in your business when you come in. I know that this challenge is so perfect for so many of you, and that is the Become a Client Magnet challenge. And I am just going to copy and paste it into here as I'm talking about it. So this challenge has, like I said, been created by my girl, Rach McDonald, and I. And the reason that we created this is we're so glad you're part of it, Ash. That's awesome. The reason we've created this challenge is because we know that when you're starting in business, becoming a client magnet is something that we really want to do, and we don't actually know how. And I think that it's really easy to think that there's some sort of sorcery or magic that's going on. You know, we see those people that we feel so magnetized to and so attracted to them and their offering, and it's like you get that gut feeling of, I really want to work with that person. It's actually never an accident. To create that magnetism, there is strategy behind that. There is rationale. There is language, there is mindset, there is messaging, there is marketing behind that to create that magnetism. And we want to support you to be able to create that for yourself. So it's 3 days. It is a 100% free training, and it is going to be with Rachel and I. Between us, we have crazy years of experience in marketing and more than 10 years experience in our own businesses. And we've done the research. We've done the time to know the things that are the most important things that we know really catapult people to success in their online business. So if you are not signed up yet, then please do so. We would love to have you there. We kick off next week from Tuesday, and it will be in a separate Facebook group. You'll need to sign up to the free challenge to be able to get access to that, and we'll be providing you with workbooks for each of the days as well. I'm just going to wait and see if there are any questions around the content that I've covered today, or if there's any questions around the challenge before I duck off. I know we've got heaps of you live with me right now. So if there's any challenges, if there's any questions at all, please just pop them below. I'm going to wait for those, and then we can go from there. But I hope you're having a really beautiful, beautiful week. In amidst, like I said, obviously a really challenging time right now. I hope that you are able to, I hope that you're able to, move into the start of the new year still in a way that feels really heartfelt and supportive for you. Ash, how long is each live training? I want to be live every day. I struggle to answer this because you know what? I am going to tell you that our aim is to keep them short and sweet, which is always from my heart to yours, the honest to God truth. What I find is that every time I've run a challenge, they tend to run a little bit over, but our aim is to keep them to like 15 to 20 minutes. So short, succinct, sweet, easy to implement. So the content and the teaching itself, it's not going to be long. It would just be if there were questions, or if Rachel and I get really excited talking to one another, that it would go over. I hope that helps you, Ash. So obviously, if you are there at the start and if you're there at the start and you can't continue, then that's totally fine. We understand, we get it. So glad you're looking forward to it. Amazing. So glad you're all signed up. Hey, Karen, is this just for coaches or does it apply to all businesses? So it applies to you if you are a service-based business that markets your business online. So I know for you that this will be 100% relevant for you, because while you also have a you have a location-based business, so much of what you do is marketing online. So this will 100% be relevant for you, and we would absolutely love to have you there. All right, beautiful humans. Have the most amazing afternoon, morning, whatever time it is over there, and I will be with you all soon. I am going to be a little bit quieter next week in this group because I'm going to be over in this challenge. So come and join me. Like I said, it's free. It's going to be incredible, and we cannot wait to welcome you in. Big love to you all. Bye for now.